Welcome to a new Team CGC 9.8 video. So today it's a new CGC 9.8 market update video. And with the stimulus checks hitting the bank accounts in the US, I'm pretty much still seeing all-time high prices for most CGC 9.8 key issues. So let's have a look here at a full list of some recent CGC 9.8 sales. The first two, I had them on my watch list and I was even really, considering bidding for sure. Just some great CGC 9.8s. First one's up to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 in the 4th printing in the CGC 9.8. First appearance of the Turtles in this 4th printing, the colored version. Really cool collector item in the CGC 9.8. Was interested to kind of see what was going to be the finishing price on this one. It was in an auction, sold for $1,450 US. So I think this was one I'd really recommended all last year, pretty much around the same time last year, mid last year for sure. They were $400, $450, $500, and it seems everyone that has sold had been like a higher price than the last one that had sold. So the market's really hot right now. $1,450 for the 4th printing. I think any Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1 in whatever printing it might be is a pretty fantastic comic book investment collector item. So interesting to see that one sell, and even more so the next one here, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles #1, the 5th printing. I really like this cover, the kind of sketch cover with the red border of this 5th printing, which I'm pretty sure is even way more rare than the 4th printing, although it came out I think a year or two after the 4th printing. It went in the 9.8 for $1,725, and I'm pretty sure it's a 1 of 12. There's only like 12 or 15 of them or something like that. I had a look at them on the census a couple days ago. $1,725 for those 1 of 12, I think, is a pretty awesome price. To be honest, I think both of these prices, if I was still collecting like 2 years ago, I was a little bit more aggressively collecting, I probably would have went after these because, in a world where Ultimate Follow 4 9.8 is over $3,000 pretty much. These Ninja Turtles #1s are just looking fantastic in the CGC 9.8 for value. Okay, next one, taking note here of a Star Wars #1 in the CGC 9.8 from 1977. First Star Wars in comics, such a great 9.8 to buy, certainly. It's so high, Mandalorian kind of heated up all these Star Wars books, one selling for $5,655. This auction was about a week ago, I would say, and I hadn't confirmed them myself, but I think someone told me one of these had sold for like $6,000 something. So Star Wars #1 still seems to have another leg, even though Star Wars is kind of cooling down if you're, listening to the community for the most part. Some people are kind of maybe a little bit upset with some of the direction Disney's taking Star Wars, and you're hearing and I'm thinking that some Star Wars books should be cooling down. So let's have a look here. I did get some completed sales for some Star Wars 9.8s. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic #9. First appearance of Revan. Great cover on this one. Saw one sell for $1,232 US. I think that's probably near the lower end of the range. I saw one sell kind of in the 1,350 range it was, but that was a few weeks ago. So this one's still really expensive, but it's a low printed one. There's not a lot in the 9.8, and Revan's got some potential. So I think right around 1,200 is probably a good deal for that one right now. Next one, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic #9. You hear about this one as a decent speculation with some first appearances in this one. And, I personally haven't read these Knights of the Republic books. I haven't read much of these newer Star Wars books, but seeing this one sell for $303.87 in an auction, I think that's a better deal. One of the better deals you're going to get now. $396 also saw one sell. I think that's a good range of the fair value for Knights of the Old Republic #1 in the CGC 9.8. So Kanan, the Last Padawan #1 in the first print, saw a few of these sell. This one I think is one that's still somewhat staying hot because there seems to be a lot of rumors circulating about Ezra Bridger. And there's always a little bit of Ren rumors, I think. And even here at Syndulla, there's been some rumors. So a few completed sales lately, $304 and $319.99. The 304 was in an auction as well. So over 300 for this one in the first print. There's quite a few of this one. It's a Marvel Star Wars book, so it's not a Dark Horse one. So going to be a little bit easier to find in the 9.8. But it'd be interesting to see where those rumors and if they come out with an Ezra or Ren appearance in some of the newer Star Wars content. A great one. Next one, Star Wars Legacy #1 in the first printing. kind of the future of Star Wars in this one, and really cool cover. In the first print, pretty tough to find. There's other prints that a lot of people like to collect that are maybe a little bit less printed, but I'm always more of a first print guy most of the time. In an auction, this one sold for $699. That's a pretty decent deal. I think this one was really pushing 1,000 when people were speculating on a lot of Star Wars things, maybe let's call it 2 months ago, and maybe it was like right in the last few shows of The Mandalorian. That was probably like the peak Star Wars hype at that time. I think $6.99 for this one. It's one of the cooler Dark Horse modern Star Wars books, Star Wars Legacy #1 first print. Right around $700 is a price to aim for. I mean, it seems expensive, but it's a cool one in the modern that people are paying up for. Darth Vader 3, the next one, CGC 9.8. First appearance of Dr. Aphra. This is a Marvel Star Wars comic, so there's quite a few of this book, and I think this is one I mentioned that this one could probably pull back if Star Wars cools down a bit. And most of these were going for over $500 for a while, 2 months ago, like during that peak hype time, I would say. In an auction though, 402.27 saw one sell for. Now there's still some going for in the last few days here for that sort of 450 area and closer to 500. But I think Darth Vader 3 right now in the moment, right around 400 is a really good deal, pretty much. But I would almost wait for maybe a few of these to cool down even a little bit more. Tough to say though. Maybe some more Star Wars rumors continue on and a new show comes out and Ahsoka is so good. Maybe that show's amazing and these all continue doing really well. Okay, next one was an interesting one to see a 9.8 sell in an auction. Amazing Spider-Man #55. This is the first print Patrick Gleason cover of the webhead kind of concept cover that was really popular when it came out. And I got 2 of these in the raw in the first print of this book specifically that I got just in the raw, not in the CGC 9.8. CGC 9.8 selling in an auction for $122. In an auction, this is kind of one of the cooler moderns, I think. And, I could see this one maybe over time becoming quite collected. And, maybe it ends up going for like $150 to $175 over time. So I think $122 is kind of a good price if you want this one now, certainly. All right, and next one here is one I do have. Always keeping an eye on this one lately. Amazing Spider-Man 316 in the CGC 9.8. First really cool Todd McFarlane Venom cover, just classic Venom. And then, when Amazing Spider-Man 300 is really expensive and out of range in the 9.8, I thought a lot of people would turn to this one, and it seems like they are, to be honest. One selling in an auction for $1,700. So this is one I made a video like a month or 2 ago saying I kind of want one, I want another one. I got 2 of them in the 9.8, luckily. But I did want one more. I wanted to have 3 of them because it just seemed like a good value. Like a lot of the McFarlane books were over $1,000, and at the time I was thinking about this one, there were auctions right around $700 ending. So I didn't get aggressive enough to get one, unfortunately, a third one. But $1,700 in an auction for it was a direct version too. The newsstands now, I guess, are like $3,000. I didn't see any completed listings, but I'm sure there might even be over $3,000 in this one. So it's come so long, far. Venom 2 is coming out later this year. So it might be time to be patient on some of these Venom books right now with the stimulus checks hitting, and it's almost like the perfect environment for them. So you'd imagine the prices are going to be pretty high maybe. A cool one I saw sell, Amazing Spider-Man #375 in the newsstand though, I think. So this one, I think is a cool kind of nostalgic cover of the era that I always said, I used to see this in bins, like a bunch of them for like $5, and all of a sudden it's kind of a key. I think it's first Anne Wang, the first time you see like Eddie Brock's girlfriend who becomes She-Venom, basically. So I think because of that first appearance, it's gaining some notoriety. But in the newsstand, I figured this one's a pretty cool one, given the gold cover. Sold for $287.51 in an auction. So that was just kind of a newsstand auction. I thought that's a pretty decent price for a book that's probably really rare. Yeah, 375, 9.8 in a newsstand are probably pretty tough to find. All right, next one here. New Mutants 98 in the CGC 9.8. First appearance of Deadpool, classic cover, pretty much on fire right now. Seeing one sell was like 3 or 4 days ago that I was like, oh, a decent price, I think. It was in an old case, CGC, direct edition, old case for $2,550. Because you were seeing some in the direct edition basically go right around that $3,000 level. There's a lot. This is an early 90s book. There's a ton of these in the 9.8. So, maybe around 3,000, it was time to be patient a little bit on this one. 2,550, more fair in this environment. Deadpool 3 is coming out. This book's really hot. There's probably still more upside, though, to be honest, once a trailer for Deadpool 3 comes out and stuff like that. So closer to this auction price of 2,550, I think, is a prudent price if you want a New Mutants 98 right now. Next one here, Ultimate Fallout 4. Yeah, so I brought mine out here, Ultimate Fallout 4, in the first print. Seen one sell in an auction, because still kind of surprising me, and maybe it is because the stimulus checks are hitting. But in this first print, one sold for $3,260.60 in an auction. So there was a 3,100 and something go a couple weeks ago. We documented that one, and then there were quite a few buy and nows popping up for 3,000 that were just getting gobbled up pretty hardcore. Seemed like there was still some demand for this one. In an auction, $3,260.60. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where first Miles Morales goes. Just one of the most popular modern 9.8s that I really love, but do I want to pound the table and recommend it at 3,000 something? Maybe not, especially like when those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle #1 9.8s I think are such great, way better 9.8 investment grade books went for almost half the price. Ultimate Fallout 4 second print though, I got that one too in the 9.8. I didn't bring it out, but seen a few of those sell for recently too, $950 and $960. Whereas this one, like Ultimate Fallout 4, got really hot there. A few of them went for like 1,100, 1,200. So, again, you probably don't want to, try to catch the highs in a lot of these. Be a little bit patient. And then I think this is in the last week, a few selling for 960 and 950 on eBay. In the second print of Ultimate Fallout 4. Yeah, not a hotter book, I don't think, but interesting to see some of the prices for sure. All right, next one, really interesting to see some sales, because you don't see too many of them. It's Guardians of the Galaxy #1 from 2008. First full appearance of the new team, Guardians of the Galaxy, pretty much. There's an earlier appearance, Annihilation Conquest #6, that predates this one, but this one's a tougher 9.8, and it's one 9.8 collectors like a lot. And I saw one go in an auction, which was great. Because a lot of times you just see like buy now, best offer, and it just doesn't seem like there's too many transparent completed listings in this one. $504 it went for though, in an auction, US dollars. Saw one sell too, I think it was a couple days before, for $650 in a buy it now. So I think that's the range right there, the fair value range on this book, and I think 500 if you're lucky, you wait in an auction, closer to 500, 650 if you want it now. And this is a great one. It's got that, like, of all graded copies, it's like 23% of them are 9.8s, which is really odd and super relatively rare for a modern 9.8 book. And I'm a big Guardians of the Galaxy fan too, so I really like that one, right around $500. I think it's such a great deal, especially in a world of $3,000 Ultimate Fallout 4 9.8. Batman number 655, the next one here. This is first cameo of Damian, really cool Andy Kubert cover, super collectible cover. And didn't really notice that this one's heating up, decently. And saw one sell for $244.99. I think this one, if you wait in an auction, is totally doable for like $205 something, $210 if you wait in an auction kind of thing. So I think this is the range of prices. But this is one, being a Batman fan, I thought of grabbing this one, last year, the year, 2 years ago, let's call it. And they were always 110, even, you might even be able, if you were really patient, get it under $100. So it just gives you an idea of all these 9.8s, and even Batman books with the Batman movie coming out, looking really cool in the trailer. Some Batman books heating up. Next one, speaking of some books that are heating up, an Uncanny XMen 244, first appearance of Jubilee. This book selling in the 9.8 auction, $624.77 US dollars. This book's come a long way. Absolutely. This is one where, you get a good deal on it for like $175 a year or two ago. Now 624.77. People thinking Jubilee might be in the new MCU X-Men. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with this book if she doesn't get in it, but we'll see. So next one up, it's an Uncanny X-Men 256. First appearance of new Psylocke. And this is a really cool Jim Lee cover. This is one I've mentioned in the past as a really cool, affordable X-Men CGC 9.8 comic to consider. And at that point, it was under $100 sometimes. Maybe if you want it now, $120. Seeing an auction, though, shows you how hot X-Men books are. $304 for this one. Yeah, new Psylocke, cool Jim Lee cover. It's a cool collector item, but $304, I'm pretty sure, is an all-time high. So next one, kind of a decent buy in the whole, ocean of X-Men comic books right now, I think. Uncanny X-Men number 122 in the CGC 9.8. This is first Mastermind as Jason Wingard with a really cool Colossus Wolverine cover, classic Cockrum cover. Saw it sell for $399.99 in a buy it now. Yeah, $400 for this one. This is one I've kind of wanted solely on coolness of the cover, and I love the John Byrne era of X-Men. And $400 is a great buy right now, I think, for an Uncanny X-Men 122. And of course, I saw Uncanny X-Men number 266. Yeah, first full appearance of first full appearance of Gambit. And this one's really heated up, yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if Gambit doesn't get in the MCU X-Men movies. Will this one cool off a little bit? One selling for $1,210 in the direct edition. And we've sort of documented this one creeping up to $1,000 over the last 6 months. And looks like it's holding over $1,000. Yeah, $1,210. Maybe you can still get this one closer to $1,000. Hopefully in some lulls here, in the next 6 to 12 months with the stimulus checks hitting right now. Seeing a Spawn number 1 Newsstand, next one here, yeah, one I like to recommend, and if a Spawn movie comes out, I think Spawn number 1 Newsstand still got some pretty big upside. $1,175 I saw one sell for, yeah, so that's still possibly ticking up in price. Maybe somebody just wanted it right now. I think we've documented sort of this one. Occasionally it spikes up, but then an auction will pop up and it'll go for like $960. So I think that's kind of the range right now. 900, maybe just under 1,000 if you're lucky. 1,175 if you want it now. Seeing some Amazing Spider-Man number 361 sell in the CGC 9.8. Right around $1,150. We had documented a few. This one, it's getting hot at certain times, certainly, and they were right around $1,250, a few of them. Now, I think there's like one or two on eBay right now that are $1,200 or best offer, I believe. So I think, or $1,250 it might have been, or best offer. So, and seeing some sell basically right around $1,150. So over $1,000 for the direct edition of Amazing Spider-Man number 361. And with Let There Be Carnage coming later this year, maybe this one still has some upside, but still seems really expensive. The direct editions used to be under $400 in the CGC 9.8 about a year and a half ago. Okay, last one. I ended up seeing, I didn't bring my note actually. Yeah, I got a couple of these certainly in the CGC 9.8. An Incredible Hulk 340. CGC 9.8, I saw one sell for $1,800. Really interesting to see this one. It was a really nice copy, I gotta say. Colors looking really good, nicely centered to where you see McFarlane's signature nice along the spine. So it was definitely a higher grade 9.8. For $1,800 though, this is one, 3 to 4 months ago. I had mentioned it on a couple videos, and certainly I have 4 of them in the 9.8, so it's pretty much my favorite 9.8 ever. I mentioned 4 months ago, this one's looking pretty decent value, around sort of $750 to $850. Most of them were selling in that range in the blue label. And, who knows, MCU X-Men could bring about an X-Men Avengers type of crossover where Wolverine and Hulk fight kind of deal. So there's a lot of reasons to speculate on this one. $1,800, I think that's a higher end. Closer to $1,500 is probably doable still in the 9.8. But Incredible Hulk 340, sign of the market. Everything's still really hot right now. And yeah, that's the full list. All right. We'll have the list in the description below with all the prices if you wanted to have a quick look for a resource. All right. I think the market's still staying really hot, and you'd almost expect it right now. But one of the things I was thinking about is, it really seemed to have taken another leg up maybe 3 weeks ago. You notice Ultimate Fallout 4 was $3,000 all of a sudden. Like that happened about 3-4 weeks ago, sort of in anticipation of the stimulus, maybe. But now that the stimulus has happened, it's not like, Ultimate Fallout 4 is now 4,000 or something like that. Everything hasn't taken another level. So maybe that's positive for the bubble argument. Like maybe it's not just going to go up into like hyper oversold territory, but certainly 9.8s are still really expensive. I mean, I've been telling a lot of people on the team who are messaging me, like, I haven't been buying that much lately because, I still think there's opportunities out there, but a lot of the books that I would want, and I know Amazing Spider-Man 316 was maybe one of the last ones where I wanted to get in there on a classic book and try to grab one around $700 or $800. Well, now one in an auction went for $1,700, so maybe I'll have to wait after Venom 2 for that one. So I'm being patient on a lot of things right now. So yeah, just good to get over some of the prices though, but maybe not reaching another level with the stimulus checks, which could be a bit of a positive if you're looking to buy some books at a fair price, I guess. Okay, we'll leave it at that though, team. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate all the support, and I'll see you on the next one.